You've heard the line, but you missed the mechanism behind it. People do not need swords to rule you. They only need your feelings. The fastest way to make a man obedient is not to chain his hands, but to provoke his heart. If you flare up, explain yourself, and defend your name to everyone, you are already ruled. Whoever can make you react can make you move. Look at your life. Family doesn't shout orders like commanders. They sigh. They compare you to someone else. They remind you of what they did for you. That tiny sting in your chest. That's the leash. A boss doesn't have to threaten your job every day. He has to raise an eyebrow in a meeting and watch you scramble to prove your worth. A woman doesn't have to beg. She can go slightly cold, and your whole nervous system begins negotiating. None of that is physical force. It is an emotional force. It is controlled through feeling. Machiavelli understood that power is mainly about prediction. A ruler survives when he blus, cannot be read easily. A citizen can be taxed, manipulated, or discarded when his patterns are apparent. The man who is hot today, offended tomorrow, and apologetic the next day, he is cheap. Everyone around him learns the code. Insult him, and he'll chase. Ignore him, and he'll write paragraphs. Praise him, and he'll work for free. Your feelings, laid bare, become a manual. And the people around you, even the well-meaning ones, read that manual. Watch how manipulators operate. They test. They will drop a slight insult to see if you defend yourself for 10 minutes. They will delay a reply to see if you double text. They will compliment you once to see if you soften your boundary. Every time you break formation, they record it. Your insecurity about respect, noted. Your desperation not to be abandoned, noted. Your hunger for attention, noted. Once they know what makes you move, they can make you move without paying a high price. That is why emotional weakness becomes a map. Once drawn, it is used over and over. This is why princes in unstable courts learn to hold their faces still. Betrayal, famine, foreign threats, and yet the ruler sat as if nothing had shifted. Not because he was numb, but because he refused to give his enemies the satisfaction of a visible wound. If the court saw panic, they would rush him. If rival families saw fear, they would press their advantage. Composure was not ego, it was armor. He understood. The moment I show them what hurts me, I give them a weapon. You live in a modern court now. Social media, offices, group chats, dating apps. Every space is a hall of observation. People are watching what makes you angry, what makes you write essays, what makes you post stories, what makes you chase. If you are shaken by every slight, you tell the whole court how to conquer you. But when you are emotionally formidable, when insults land and you stay measured, when silence meets silence, when praise does not buy your loyalty, people hesitate. It becomes expensive to move. That is political survival in daily life. So, hear the painful truth. No one is actually controlling you. They are simply using the strings you left hanging. Pull them back. Govern yourself. Decide that not every tone, not every delay, not every rejection deserves your performance. That is how a man stops being the easy piece on the board and starts being the player. Govern yourself, and no one sits on your throne. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Machiavelli said that about ruling states, but it also rules your private life. You were told to lead with feelings, to spill everything, to make yourself emotionally available to anyone who asks. You were told that it was healthy, but in power dynamics, what is easy to reach is easy to use. You did not become more loved. You became more governable. Think about how they trained you. Reply quickly. Don't leave people to read. Explain why you can't come. Tell her how you feel, or she'll leave. All of it sounds kind, modern, and emotionally intelligent, but all of it does the same thing. It removes your right to silence. It makes your emotional door stay open at all hours, for all people. A prince who leaves his gates open is not generous. He is vulnerable. A man who is required to emote on demand is not authentic. He is available for control. In Machiavelli's world, access is leverage. If the court could reach the ruler at any time, it could pressure him. That is why capable rulers controlled who could speak to them and when. You were taught the opposite. You let everyone talk to you, judge you, and pull on you, and you thought that made you good. What it really did was teach people your reaction schedule. They now know that if they send you a disappointed text at night, you will explain yourself. If they post something online that sounds like a shot at you, you will rush to defend. If they go silent for a day, you will double text to restore peace. Once they can predict you, they can press you. Then comes the second lie. They called it love. They praised you for being vulnerable, but noticed when they praised you. They praised you when your softness served their agenda, when you opened up so they didn't have to, when you apologize so they could stay offended, when you admit your fears so they could remain in the role of healer, superior, or person you chase. That is not love. That is positional play. Every manipulator understands. If I reward your openness, you will keep performing it. If I shame your firmness, you will abandon it. A woman who wants constant emotional updates from you is not always asking for intimacy. Sometimes she is asking for surveillance. A boss who demands instant explanations is not always building teamwork. Sometimes he is building dependence. A friend who only affirms you when you overshare is not always being supportive. Sometimes he is making sure you still need him. They use your need to be seen to keep you in orbit. And because you want to be a good man, a kind man, a mature man, you give it. You answer immediately. You send the long voice note. You prove you are safe. And each time you do, you lower the price of your presence. Machiavelli would tell you plainly, men love as they choose, but they bind as it benefits them. If showing emotion gives them more control over your time, your money, or your loyalty, they will encourage it. If your calm makes you harder to move, they will call it cold, distant, or unhealthy. They will frame your boundaries as a moral failure so that you drop them. You thought you were failing at emotional intimacy. You were actually succeeding at becoming harder to use, and that is what they did not like. There is also a price problem. In courts, the prince who showed anger, grief, or jealousy in front of everyone was surrounded by flatterers, gossipers, and opportunists. They saw where he was weak, so they tailored their approach to that weakness. If he hated being ignored, they ignored him to get favor. If he hated dissent, they pretended to agree to gain access. His own displays lowered his price. The same thing happens to you today. The more you rant, the more you subtweet, the more you emotionally react in public spaces, the more people learn what to trigger you about. Your feelings become a menu. Anyone who wants something from you can pick the dish. An emotionally formidable man does the opposite. He limits the audience of his inner world. Not because he is fake, but because he understands information is power. He will share, but with the few who have earned a stake in his life. He will explain, but at his own time. He will apologize, but only when it aligns with his principles, not because someone sulks. That restraint makes his emotion valuable. When he finally speaks from the heart, people listen because it is rare. Rarity creates respect. So the illusion must break now. Being emotional with everyone is not a sign of health. It is a sign of low boundaries. Broadcasting your hurts does not make you real. It makes you readable. And in any arena where people compete for status, for relationships, for influence, being readable is dangerous. You do not have to bleed to prove you are human. You do not have to answer immediately to prove you care. You do not have to let everyone into the throne room of your feelings. Pull your access back. Close the door a little. Let your silence regain its value. Your composure will not threaten the people who genuinely love you. It will secure them. The people who only loved your availability will fall away, because they cannot rule what they cannot reach. Your heart is not public property. He who knows how to wound will rule the wounded. You do not lose power because everyone around you is brilliant. You lose power because your unhealed places speak. Before you do, a clever person does not have to study manipulation to move you. He only has to watch what makes you brighten, what makes you panic, what makes you overreact. Your wound steps forward and says, "Here, press here." The craving for validation is loud. You think you hide it, but you don't. You refresh your phone after posting. You explain small mistakes too much. You retell stories so you look innocent. You try to make sure no one thinks badly of you. All of those signals, I need to be seen as worthy. When someone wants something from you, they threaten that image. A boss says, "I expected better," and you stay late for free. A woman says, "You're not like you used to be," and you pour on the attention so she will confirm that you are still the man she chose. A friend says, "You have changed," and you overcompensate to prove you are loyal. Manipulators do not need genius, they need observation. They remember what compliment made your whole day. They remember which criticism made you defensive. They remember whose silence drove you crazy. Then they design their approach. If you melt at praise, they flatter first and request later. If you fear being ignored, they withdraw to make you chase. If you cannot tolerate disrespect, they poke your pride to push you into angry, sloppy moves. Your emotional pattern becomes a handle they can grab at any time. Machiavelli's entire logic is the opposite of this. A ruler survives by being unreadable. He conceals intention, moderates expression, and reveals little of his inner weather. The rules do the opposite. They broadcast. They make every slight visible. They make every disappointment public. They rush to defend their name. That is how you have been living, by the rules. You thought telling everyone exactly how you feel would create understanding. What it really created was a clear sketch of how to move you. When you show hurt immediately, you give away strategy. Someone criticizes you in a group chat, and you write 5 paragraphs. Now they know your reputation is your soft spot. Someone cancels on you, and you act wounded. Now they know attention is your currency. Someone hints at replacing you at work, and you panic. Now they know scarcity will make you take any deal. A ruler would note the insult, store it, and respond when leverage is higher. A reactive man responds in the moment and pays full price. This is why the same people keep running the same play on you. They have figured out that you do not choose from logic, you choose from injury. You tell yourself, "I am choosing peace," or "I am choosing love." But underneath, you are choosing, "I do not want to feel that old pain again." That is what makes you readable. A readable man can be steered. A man whose reactions are obvious can be bought cheaply. Go deeper. Your past is still negotiating for you. The rejection from the girl in school, the parent who compared you, the teacher who called you average. You said you moved on, but your adult life says otherwise. Now, when someone mildly disrespects you, you overreact because you are not only answering this person, you are answering everyone who disrespected you before. The room sees a slight. Your wound considers a decade of slights. So you chase too hard, fight too long, and explain too much. And because you never named it, everyone who meets you can awaken it again with almost no effort, as if you were still that young boy standing in front of mockery. This is how you end up over-pursuing cold people. They withhold, and something ancient in you says, "Win this one, prove you are likable, undo what happened back then." So you text again, you make offers, you tolerate disrespect. You stay in proximity to indifference because you believe getting this person to approve of you will repair the first rejection. It never does. It only teaches today's person that withholding makes you serve. It also explains why you over-explain. Someone questions a tiny part of your work, and you send a thesis. Someone wonders whether you are upset, and you go through a long emotional cleansing. You are not doing that for them. You are doing that for the wound that says, if I am misunderstood, I will be abandoned. People can see that. So the next time they want more from you, they will suggest that you disappointed them. You will rush to fix their perception, even if they were careless or manipulative. Here is the brutal truth. The enemy was not your boss, the woman, the friend, or the stranger online. The enemy was the part of you that still needed them to tell you that you are enough. As long as you need that, they do not have to chain you. They can guide you with half a sentence. They can ruin your day with a tone. They can make you apologize when you are not wrong. They can make you fight battles that do not matter. Your wound is doing its work for them. Machiavellian strength begins when you stop letting the wound choose. When you feel the old panic rise, and you do not act. When you notice the baited silence, and you do not chase. When you hear, I thought you were better than this, and you do not sprint to reclaim their image of you. That is the moment power shifts. You become less readable, and the less readable you are, the less usable you become. This is not numbness, it is governance. You are not killing your heart. You are denying your enemies a script to read. That is how a man becomes difficult to conquer in any room. Heal the wound and you cancel their strategy. A prince who cannot command himself will beg to command others. You began as a man who thought of himself as steady. You told yourself, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. But control is not proven when everyone agrees with you. It is proven when the people you want start to pull away. That is when the test happens, and many men fail it. They go from centered to performing in a moment, just to be let back into circles that do not even respect them. Here is the pattern. You make a rule for yourself. You will not tolerate disrespect. You will not work for free. You will not chase attention. Then a person whose approval you like goes silent, or looks disappointed, or hints that you are different now. Immediately, you break your own law. You send a long message. You apologize for a rational decision. You try to make them feel comfortable, even if it costs you. That is emotional vassalage. You are not acting as a sovereign. You are acting like a subject trying to win back favor from his lord. Machiavelli would call this losing the state, because you could not endure temporary unpopularity. A ruler may sometimes have to displease a faction to preserve order. If he panics and tries to please everyone, he weakens the throne. You do this socially. One woman pulls back, and you switch from composed to pleading. One friend makes a sarcastic comment, and you switch from proud to over-explaining. One boss frowns, and you switch from a strategic to an agreeable stance. You are no longer one man, you are a costume closet of reactions, each outfit worn to keep someone happy. This is where the tyranny of other people's moods begins. You wake up neutral, but your day does not belong to you. Your mood is waiting for signals. Has she replied? Has he liked the post? Did the manager say, we need to talk? If the signals are warm, you are confident. If the signals are cold, you spiral. You refresh feeds, reread texts, and replay the meeting. You imagine conversations that never happened. Hours pass in mental court politics, and nothing in your external life has actually changed. Your emotions are serving their calendar, not your mission. That is the opposite of sovereignty. A sovereign sets the tone and tempo. A man under emotional collapse waits to be told how to feel. If her tone is sharp, he is guilty. If her tone is soft, he is alive. Again, if the boss is rushed, he assumes he is in trouble. If the group chat is quiet, he thinks he is being phased out. Everyone around him is allowed to be complex, busy, distracted, or imperfect. But he is not allowed to hold his line. He must adapt. He must smooth things over. He must keep the peace so that he is not pushed out of the room. That is not love. That is dependency. So he starts making a desperate peace. He offers explanations no one requested. He sends, "Just to clarify." He buys gifts after minor disagreements. He overpromises work. He laughs at jokes he does not like. He pretends to be unbothered when he is hurt. All of this is to keep access. But peace earned this way is not peace. It is tribute paid to avoid exile. You are buying your spot at the table with pieces of your identity. Every time you do it, people see that your belongings are more important to you than your boundaries, so they keep charging you. And a man who pays like that becomes divided. Machiavelli warned that divided principalities are easy to conquer. The same law applies inside you. In one context, you are dominant. In another, you are submissive. In another, you are the clown. In another, you are the helper. None of these are chosen for strength. They are selected out of fear of losing connection. A man in pieces cannot resist. If someone wants something from him, they go to the piece that will say yes. They do not have to confront the whole man because the whole man has not been present in a long time. Notice how this plays out. With men you admire, you become agreeable, hoping to be accepted. With women you desire, you become overly available, hoping to be chosen. With people below you, you may become harsh, trying to feel powerful somewhere. That is not power, that is leakage. Real power is the same man everywhere, measured, principled, slow to react. When you fracture to fit rooms, rooms learn they can shape you. They will pull the humble version of you when they need free labor, the soft version when they need attention, the guilty version when they need to control you. The tragedy is that you started with principles. You wanted to speak slowly, decide carefully, protect your time, and love without losing yourself. But because you did not master your emotions, every social chill felt like danger. You could not sit by and be misunderstood for a day. You could not sit in someone else's silence. You could not sit a woman's test. So you performed to make it go away. And every performance took a brick out of the throne you were building. Eventually, you are surrounded by people, but your center is gone. To reverse it, you have to let some coldness stay cold. You have to let a message stay unanswered. Let a face stay disappointed. Let a rumor pass without your defense. That temporary discomfort is the price of recovering your center. The men who keep their identity intact are the men who can outlast a season of being unlike because they know the throne is worth more than the audience. This is the cost of not becoming emotionally formidable. You will keep relationships, but lose yourself. You will be invited, but not respected. You will be around people, but never at the center. They will like how easy you are to bend. They will not fear losing you. And a man whom no one fears losing will constantly be overused. Hold your line, or they will write it for you. Men love at their own will, but fear at the will of the prince. Machiavelli said it about politics, but you've been living it in your relationships. You thought they loved you because you were open. After all, you kept explaining yourself because you kept proving you cared. But look closely, they didn't love you when you were strong. They loved you when you were soft on command. That is not love. That is control disguised as closeness. Love that demands emotional obedience is training you, not meeting you. If someone only treats you kindly when you melt, when you confess, when you answer immediately, then what they wanted was not your heart. They wanted access. The moment you go quiet, the moment you take time to think, the moment you do not panic over their silence, they get offended. Why? because your calm breaks their leverage. Your composure means they cannot pull you the way they did before. They call it distance, but what they mean is, you stopped reacting to me. A lot of people you've called caring were actually monitoring. They wanted to know where your feelings were at every hour so they could steer them. They wanted constant reports from you, so you would never have the emotional height to see what they were doing. When you were emotionally alive toward them, they showered you with approval. When you became quiet and self-possessed, they called you cold. Understand the game. Men and women will praise the version of you that is easiest to move. So reframe this now. Calm is not cold. Calm is expensive. In every court, the loud, reactive, dramatic people made the most noise, but the ruler spoke last. Why? Because a composed person cannot be rushed into decisions that benefit someone else. Calm means you are thinking about strategy, about timing, about your long-term position. That is why politicians trusted the steady man with real matters. That is why teams trust the person who does not panic. That is why, even in modern dating, the man who is not frantically emotional is the one people return to. He is a harbor, not a storm. You were never emotionless. You were unexploited. You were trying to withhold your reactions so no one could set your price with a sad face or a cold message. But because many people around you only understand attention as love, they labeled your restraint as uncaring. Don't accept that label. Machiavellian realism holds that if your emotions can be easily triggered, they will be used. If they are rare and measured, they will be respected. And you must hear this clearly. You are allowed to be selectively human. Your tears, your confessions, your deepest fears are not for group chats, not for people who weaponize silence, not for bosses who guilt-trip loyalty, not for dates who keep testing if you will chase. Your emotions are royal property. You do not open the treasury every time someone knocks. You open it for the loyal, for the proven, for the ones who do not punish your self-control. When you start living like that, some people will leave. Let them. They were only there because you were a steady source of emotional supply. They liked you emotionally because an emotional man pays quickly with time, with attention, with apologies, with gifts, with lowered standards. A measured man makes them earn it. That is the real reason they told you, you've changed. You didn't change. You stopped being governable. Absolute respect does not require you to bleed every time someone is displeased. Genuine respect can sit across from your calm without feeling threatened by it. Absolute respect knows that your silence is thought, not rejection. Genuine respect does not cross your boundaries. So the story you have to flip is this. You were not unlovable. You were surrounded by people who only know how to love what they can control. From now on, you decide who gets your warmth. You decide who gets real-time access to your feelings. You decide whose disapproval you will actually address. That is not cruelty, that is statecraft. A prince cannot be fully available and fully powerful at the same time. Neither can you. Your calm is proof you belong to yourself. A wise prince must learn how not to be provoked. You have seen what happens when you answer everything in real time. You become easy to read, easy to move, easy to underpay. Now you rebuild, not by killing your feelings, but by governing them the way a ruler governs a city. Nothing enters, nothing leaves, unless it serves the state. This is the Machiavellian emotional regime. Conceal, delay, price, and act by policy, not by wound. First, concealment. Not every blow deserves a flinch. When someone takes a shot at you, the weakest thing you can do is react instantly. An instant reaction tells them two things. They reached you, and they can get you again. A prince in a hostile court would never give that gift. He would note the insult, keep his face calm, and let the offender believe they got away with it. Why? Because an enemy who thinks you are unbothered will relax his guard. Your silence is bait. Your composure is a trap. You are collecting information while they are spending theirs. So when your coworker makes that passive comment, you do not fire back in front of the room. You log it. When a woman tries to drag you into drama to test your center, you do not write the 8-paragraph reply. You log it. When a family member uses guilt to pull you back into a role you outgrew, you do not argue your whole history. You log it. You record who is trying to move you, which lever they used, and what access they currently have. Then, when leverage is highest, maybe during a performance review, maybe when they need a favor, when the relationship is calmer, you address it from strength. Emotional delay is a tactical advantage. You choose the time, they do not. Second, you must price access to you. Right now, people get too much of you too easily. That is why they do not value it. In courts, the man everyone could reach was a messenger. The man whom only a few could get was the ruler. Your inbox, your replies, your explanations, these are your throne room. Close the door. Slow your response time. Reply when it fits your order, not when their anxiety tries to invade your day. You are not a siren. They can press for instant reassurance, and you are not a court jester performing emotions for their entertainment. Set practical rules. Stop writing lengthy justifications to the uninterested. If someone is not paying, building, serving, or loving at a high level, they do not get full access to your emotional files. Do not argue in public channels. People screenshot weakness and ignore reason. Do not give emotional monologues to people who have shown they weaponize emotion. Keep your tone clean, brief, and calm. Emotional scarcity makes your presence expensive in every circle at work, in dating, in family. People step more carefully around men who do not perform for free. Third, you convert emotion into policy. This is where most men fail. They have insight, but no rules. So when they are tired, they break formation. When they are triggered, they break formation. When someone attractive or powerful applies pressure, they break formation. A state cannot run on mood, and neither can you. You need personal statecraft. When X happens, I do Y every time. Not what I feel, what I decided. For example, if someone insults you publicly, you do not argue publicly. You address it privately once, and if it continues, you reduce access. If a woman pulls away, you do not chase. You mirror the pace and let investment rebalance. If a client or boss tries to guilt trip you, do not over-explain. Restate the terms once and stay silent. If family demands emotional labor during your work hours, you schedule a time instead of dropping everything. These are policies. Policies protect you from the old wound that wants to fix, chase, or defend. This is also how you stop being emotionally farmed. When people see that you do not react to bait, they stop throwing bait. When they see you do not explain yourself to casual critics, they stop casual criticism. When they see your attention is earned, they either step up or disappear. Both outcomes serve you. You are not here to maintain access for everyone. You are here to maintain order for yourself. Your regime prefers peace, but it is ready for firmness. Understand, discipline in expression is not the same as weakness in feeling. You will still feel the sting. You will still want to prove yourself. You will still want to be understood, but you will not let those impulses run your public behavior. That separation between inner weather and outer action is what makes a man formidable. Enemies cannot calculate you. Opportunists cannot schedule you. Emotional blackmailers cannot time you. You become the calm center others have to negotiate with. And over time, something powerful happens. Because you are consistent, people begin to trust your center. They know you will not explode in meetings. They know you will not beg in relationships. They know you will not leak secrets when offended. That reputation is worth more than momentary satisfaction. That is how princes survived in volatile courts, not by being the most emotional, but by being the most predictable in their discipline. You can do the same in your digital court, your office court, your family court. So, this is your regime. Conceal what they expect you to display. Delay what they expect you to answer. Price what they wish for free. And act by policy where they expect reaction. Do this, and your emotions stop being public handles and start being private engines. You will still love, but you will not be ruled. You will still forgive, but you will not be milked. You will still feel, but you will not be harmed. Rule your reactions, and you rule the room. The best fortress is not to be hated by the people. Power lasts when the people around you can breathe. All of this work on emotional formidably was never meant to make you stone. It was so you could stop being yanked around every hour by someone else's mood. A life where you are manipulated every day is war. A life where you decide what moves you is the rule. Peace is the prize. Think about how rare it is to meet a man who doesn't spiral, a man who can receive a cold message and still show up steady for his work. A man who can hear criticism and not punish the whole house. A man who can have his woman test him and still love her without whining. That man becomes the emotional capital of the room. People can rest around him, children, team members, even friends with chaotic lives. They anchor to him because he will not mirror their panic. That, in Machiavellian terms, is a good stability over chaos, order over constant emotional fires. When you cannot be moved easily, you become trustworthy, not because you said you are loyal, but because you do not change your personality every time you are disappointed. Your family sees it, you handle pressure without turning cruel. Your woman sees it, she can bring emotion without fearing you will out-emote her. Your team sees it, they can get bad news without you exploding. Your solidity lowers the temperature of every interaction. That is quiet power, the kind that outlives charm. Then your silence becomes your throne. Instead of chasing every rumor, instead of explaining every boundary, instead of responding to every piece of bait, you sit. You watch what is actually happening. You let people reveal themselves. You answer when it is useful, not when it is noisy. And you will notice something beautiful. The less you fight for attention, the more attention organizes around you. Calm power bends rooms. People listen more closely when you speak rarely. People value access more when it is not guaranteed, when they know you can choose silence over spectacle. This is the opposite of the reactive life you had. You don't wake up scanning for approval. You don't perform kindness to avoid abandonment. You don't rush to fix everyone's discomfort so they will like you. You pick your battles like a ruler picks campaigns. You spend energy where it multiplies. You give explanations where they build trust. You let the rest die out on its own. That is peace, not the absence of conflict, but the lack of compulsion. And here is the most hopeful part. When your emotions are no longer public property, you can love on purpose. You can choose softness for your wife or future wife, not because she dragged it out of you with tears, but because you wanted to give it. You can forgive a friend because it serves the future, not because you were guilted. You can show grief, joy, excitement with the people who guard it. Emotional formidably doesn't make you cold, it makes you selective. Selection is how you keep love clean, how you stop it from turning into another arena of control. This is the life you were aiming for all along. Not an empty, poker-faced existence, but a governed one, where people respect your time because you respect it, where your name is not in every argument because you refuse to be pulled, where you can sit in silence and know you didn't lose anything. You actually protected everything that matters. Choose peace. and the world loses its hold on you.